All right, so now let's discuss about the use of mobile phones in teaching and learning. As we know, mobile phones is one of the most accessible form of technology today in the world. And according to statistics, it is said that about 70% of the world's population possesses smartphones, which implies therefore that we have a high rate use of smartphones in many areas. Likewise, in Africa, so the penetration of smartphones in many parts of the world is also very big, in Africa included. And Africa, especially the sub-Saharan Africa, we have high rates of possession of mobile phones, and we have also, and this has been attributed because of many factors, including low cost to buy those smartphones, at the same time, low bandwidth as well. Some of the internet services have started to come down, which implies therefore that many of the people can be able to afford smartphones with the internet connection. But the question is, how effective are we using these smartphones in many ways, especially in teaching and learning? This is where we are going to discuss about use of smartphones or mobile phones or mobile devices in teaching and learning. But before we proceed, here is a reflection question for you. Take your pen and a notebook, write down the response to this question. How do you use your smartphone or your mobile devices, it could be smartphone or tablet, for teaching and learning? Do you, what are the things that you consider, or what are the things that you access when you're using your smartphone in the area of learning or teaching and learning? Please note down at least 3 points that you think you can be able to use, or you can be able to reflect on when you're using a smartphone for teaching and learning. All right, so there must be many ways you have listed down. So maybe for accessing resources on YouTube, videos, maybe simulations. So there could be some areas like maybe searching internet, browsing here and there, collecting some videos and images maybe. But there are many ways you can be able to use smartphone for teaching and learning. As a teacher, you can be able to use it in many ways as well. Again, as a student, you can also be able to use it in many ways. One of the common ways to use your smartphone is actually to be able to access content or resources, which could be educational resources in this aspect. So these resources could be in terms of the videos, or it could be in terms of animations for your lessons, or it could be also in terms of simulations that you can be able to access. But again, there could be also in terms of images, where you need to maybe to add something to your PowerPoint presentation to be able to enhance your presentation as well. So many ways you can be able to access resources using your smartphone. And this can help you be able to improve your ways of teaching and learning. Another way is to use mobile apps, which means you use mobile applications in teaching and learning. And mobile apps have come in many shapes, in many ways, for many subjects as well. And about mobile application in teaching and learning, we'll be discussing this in the next coming lessons, where we'll be going into the details of the types of mobile applications, how you can be able to use them in different subjects like sciences, arts, business subjects, and many, many other areas. So that is how it's going to be discussed much more in the coming lessons. But again, you can also be able to use your smartphone or your mobile devices in the area of social networks, where you can be able to create maybe classes or groups in social networks like Facebook groups, or maybe in Twitter probably, to allow your students to be able to follow the lessons in those social networks. Creating these networks groups of Facebook groups can help you be able to bring about students together and engage them in many ways so that they can be able to learn better in different forms. Another way is actually to be able to provide to access educational programs. And these educational programs could be something like videos or animations that have been created to help students to learn some of the concepts in different domains on different subjects. Taking examples of Bongo Kids, for example, or Akili and Me, for example. These are actually educational content creators who have created content for children to be able to learn some mathematical concepts in the way that is fascinating, but again entertaining for them to be able to follow. So if you have a device at home, and then you can allow your students or yourself as a teacher to use these devices to access such educational programs like Bongo Kids or Akili and Me, or some other educational cartoons to help your students or your children to be able to learn better in many ways as well. And the last point is actually using your smartphone is that you can be able to access live interactions as well. Suppose a teacher is using Zoom, for instance, and you as a student, you are sitting back in your home or in your area. You can be able to access your Zoom session using your smartphone or your tablet. You can also be able to access many other live interaction sessions using maybe Facebook Live or YouTube Live to access many content and these instructions using such technologies. So there are many ways you can be able to use technologies, especially mobile devices, to access, to interact with the content that we are preparing, of which these are actually described.